लेट अली शो यू के इस स्पेशल एपिसोड से आप सबको खुशामदेद। वाशिंगटन डीसी से, यूएस कैपिटल से मैं आपको ज्वाइन कर रहा हूं और यहाँ पे बहुत सरगर्मियाँ चल रही हैं। बहुत कुछ हो रहा है वाशिंगटन डीसी में ट्रंप हुकूमत के आने के बाद, और पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी भी बहुत एक्टिवेट हो गई है। उन्होंने एक कॉन्फ्रेंस, ओपन हाउस, कॉन्ग्रेशनल ओपन हाउस एक मुनक्किद किया पिछले कुछ दिनों में, और इसके अंदर की रिपब्लिकन और बड़े ही अहम डेमोक्रेटिक लेजिस्लेचर्स जो फॉरेन अफेयर्स कमेटी से जिनका ताल्लुक था, आर्म्ड सर्विसेज कमेटी से जिनका ताल्लुक था, उन्होंने इसमें शिरकत की। देखें क्या हुआ वहाँ पे, कौन कौन आया, और एक पाकिस्तान से भी बड़ी अहम शख्सियत ने शिरकत की।
I'm now the new chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, and to just give you all a little idea of what the change is, what the direction is with the unified Republican government, and to make a few fine points on this, it's to make sure that for Americans, every diplomat and every dollar is out there fighting to make sure that they are putting America first, that they are putting the national security of America first, the interest of America and America's allies first. That is the mission, and we've existed in a state where, quite frankly, that hasn't been the case. We've had, as everybody's seeing with DOGE, going into United States, USAID and the State Department and other agencies, just agencies rife with waste, fraud, and abuse that are programs that were not making America the partner of choice, and that we're not making America and our allies safer, and the path that every nation said, that's exactly where I want to get along with, because they are working towards making sure that we are the strongest and the most prosperous and the most robust alliance that can exist out there. That changes. That changed on January 20 when President Trump came into office, to a situation where we will make sure that we know that what we're doing is making us the partner of choice, leading to stronger alliances and stronger security for all. And to put fine points on it, when you have nations that are out there looking to say, we need assistance on security in this way, or we need assistance with food in this way, but we have programs going through the State Department that are saying they're going to work on giving, transgender job fairs to the tune of $800,000 in a country like Bangladesh, where the average monthly wage is $20 a month. That's a waste of your money. When there's a program out there that says they're going to support drag shows in Ecuador for Venezuelans at $20,000 a pop, that's a waste of our money, and it doesn't make us the partner of choice. When we have programs out there to the Pakistani neighbor of Afghanistan, that's $15 million in condoms to the Taliban, that's a waste of our money. These things come to an end, because the fact of the matter is, if everything is a priority, then nothing is a priority. And
I'm the eldest daughter. I have 6 younger sisters, 7 younger brothers, mashallah. And you know, Palestinians, they try to kill us, but we have more babies. But in all sincerity, if you haven't noticed, I don't care who is in charge of whatever country. When I see oppression and pain, when I see folks committing injustices and human rights violations, and really creating, I think, generational trauma, yes, I will speak up and speak truth. It's not only about freeing Imran, it's also about freeing the Pakistani people, yes, period. And so I want you to know, and I'm a person that, even when it's unpopular, even when people are saying, maybe you shouldn't do that or shouldn't do that, because he will tell you, brother, the Malik family knows, I will not back down. All the aunties and uncles thought I was Pakistani, as we say in Arabic. And I picked up Urdu, of course, Al-Hafiz and all those things, but and went to so many Mindis. But I can tell you, one of the things I felt in solidarity is the importance of our community and our family and our identity. We are incredibly proud people, right? Pakistan, if you're from Pakistan or from Palestine, there is such a strong root. You just can't forget it. You can take us and uproot us and put us anywhere, yes, in the country, and we will still feel this connection to our homelands, to those roots, because it makes us who we are. But know that I will not, it has to be more than just tweets. It has to be the resolution that we, yes, get passed. Yes. It has to be the consistency, no matter who is president, to be consistent about making sure that the Pakistani people have true democracy, being able to speak truth, being able to have, again, protections from being targeted. And I know, the movement to free Imran Khan is the cover of the big movement to try again to address the human rights violations and the injustices we all see. But I can tell you, continue to share your stories. I hear it from all of my Free Kashmir Coalition people, from the shooting of children and blinding them to the sexual assaults. I know we don't like talking about it, but it's real. And so all of that, continue to tell people, because when this president or the previous presidents, as they roll out the red carpet consistently for folks like Modi and others, I don't want the American people to think they're not doing anything wrong. And so we'll continue, of course, to use the social media platforms and speaking against these injustices. But I love being able to say, from Palestine to Detroit to Pakistan, we will all be free. Thank you all so much.
So there's some real concerns about the elections, about people's individual rights to express opinions, to be open and have differences without being crushed by the American government or by the Pakistani government. What we here in the United States take great pride in, and what the entire Constitution, every law is supposed to be predicated on the God-given right, not given by a government, not granted by any person, but given by God for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Everybody knows that's a big part of the United States, but it's also a big part of everybody's rights, no matter where you live. And Pakistan is no different. It's a huge population. Most people don't realize that it's almost as large as the United States population. And it's a nuclear power. And it's in a strategically important part of the world that has about 70% of the world's population, about 70% of the world's wealth transfers to that region, and you have India and China in that region too. So strategically, it's very important for the United States to be involved and to encourage fair and open and equal elections, making sure that the people are treated fair and that they're not injustices by a government imposed upon a people, because that creates stability. When you mistreat a people, it will always lead to instability. It will always lead to violence. And we don't want that in Pakistan, not for anybody, not for the current government, not for any other government. We want to make sure that the government treats its people fairly and that the people select the government fairly. And that will always represent peace and stability in that region and around the world because of its strategic importance.
So will the United States, and now we have this Donald Trump, Rick Grenell, you calling for free Imran Khan. This is also about a historic relationship between the military, the Pakistan military and the Americans, a transactional relationship. Can you move beyond words to something more substantive, which is different from what the past was?
Yeah, so that's why I introduced 901, HR 901, to make sure that we start pushing for that it's a foreign affairs issue that we can actually get behind and say, legislators are paying attention, we're watching you, that there are consequences to not behaving rationally, to not be treating your people with justice and liberty. I think President Trump will be speaking on these issues broadly, maybe specifically to Pakistan, it's hard to say, but that's why we lobby. That's why PAK PAC is important, is that when you go out there, when you're educating people on what's happening in the world, whether it be injustices or strengths of a people, their diaspora here in America, that's where your participation in what we do is really important.
Free Imran Khan. Nobody should be arrested for their political views. And certainly nobody should be arrested in the way in which he was arrested. I think that we in the United States government have to agitate for political freedom everywhere in the world, including in Pakistan, including with regard to Imran Khan. I think that this is something we're going to continue to do. I did this on Twitter recently, and it went viral. And I think the reason why it went viral is that it resonates with a lot of people. Am I right about that? Oh, yeah. It's very simple, okay? And so let me just say this. I'll say finally this. The secret to happiness is freedom. Yes. And the secret to freedom is courage. Everyone has to have the courage to speak up. And so I hope that as you talk to people on Capitol Hill and talk to your representatives and senators, you ask them to stand with those who have the courage to speak up. Because if we don't speak up while they are putting themselves on the line, then we will be forsaking them. And that would be worse than anything else.
I think PakPac is so critically important. As you see, the cream of the crop has come to show respect, but that is because of years of dedication and advocacy. our community can demonstrate the best physicians in our country, the best engineers, the best scientists, the best businessmen and women coming out of the PAK PAC infrastructure, not only to educate folks about Pakistan, but to show that our community is just as talented.
Are you concerned
and as
about what's
diverse.
happening in Pakistan? What is happening?
Absolutely, because first of all, I think I met a gentleman years ago in New Jersey. I thought to myself, he looks like a Vasey Richard Gere turned out to be Imran Khan. And so having met him years ago and then having met him in Congress as the leader of Pakistan and watching his fate, it deeply concerned me. And so Pakistan has had a struggle throughout the years of military rule and civilian rule, and she's trying to figure it out. So we're here as advocates to help sure she doesn't.
Even, I would say, over the last year and a half, when things have been very, very difficult because of events going on in the Middle East, we were always able to communicate, keep lines of communication open, and have important, really important conversations. Let me just say the community in Michigan has been integral to me understanding how important politics in Pakistan is in the United States to the Pakistani American community. It has been my opportunity to get educated, and one of the things I'm hoping to do as a senator is actually visit Pakistan for the first time. I've never been to Pakistan. I clearly need to understand the violence that's going on there, the threat from the state, the basic need to uphold the rule of law and allow people to live out their lives as they see fit in freedom and democracy. Count me as an ally, count me as a partner in that, count me as someone who needs to be vocal and wants to be vocal on those issues. We are just going through a moment all over the world where democracies are under threat, right? Even in places like the United States of America, it is always, always important to uphold the rule of law and democracy. And that goes whether it's here or over in Pakistan. So thank you for your support. Thank you for helping me become a senator. The state of Michigan was one of the closest places in the country, and the Pakistani American community was a big part of that.
In Phoenix, the Pakistan community is growing well and strongly, and they've been super supportive of me and very welcoming. We've had great conversations. They've educated me a lot so I can be a better member of Congress, not only for the local American Pakistani community, but also the importance of a strong U.S.-Pakistan relationship, and of course, the challenges that are going on now that the senator described.
Pakistan is in a splendid state. Never before in the history of Pakistan people have united so much. Never before. In the world today, if you look around, there is no country where a single leader commands the respect of more than 70% of the people. So that means the ingredients for change, the ingredient for development of Pakistan, there was never a better miss than today. It's only the fact that there is an elite capture to the extent that institutions are destroyed, to the extent that judiciary is destroyed, to the extent our constitution is not has been changed, and the fact that every day different rules are made up to play the game. If they don't have a majority in a court, they will change the substance of the court, bring other judges in, and have two parallel courts in a system. That's something no nation can succeed in that. There's a very good book of Darren Asimoglu and James Robinson on why nations fail. And if institutions are destroyed, the nation does not live. So Imran Khan and Pakistan, we are making a move, I think, to when Quaid-e-Azam formed the country, we have been destroyed by undemocratic changes, but this is the time to come back to democracy.
What can the people do to make a difference?
I think people are the right ingredient. You know, people have been trying their best. They've lost lives. They're pushing for democracy. I think the people can do a lot, and the people will do it. I'm not here to say anything but the fact that the Pakistani people will themselves be changed.
Pakistan has been a critical player when it comes to intelligence, when it comes to defense sharing, when it comes to combating against the war on terror. Pakistan has been a huge partner, and we need to make sure that we keep that relationship strong. It is very important, and not just in the areas of defense, but when it comes to energy, we need to make sure that we have a strong relationship with Pakistan because so much of the technology and other things that are happening around the world is going to become because of a strong relationship between Pakistan and the U.S. And I mentioned energy for a good reason.
That we utilize utilize our foreign policy tools in order to make sure that the elements of democracy can be reaffirmed. And there are too many countries all over the world, in our hemisphere here, as well as in Pakistan. And I've just been talking with your former president, how incredibly distressing it is that democracy has so significantly deteriorated in Pakistan. I have a vibrant Pakistani American community in South Florida, and enjoy a relationship not only with Dr. Mirza, but with many others in our community, and so look forward to making sure that we can continue to work together towards the kind of progress that we need, and would love to have feedback from you. I'm a senior member of the Appropriations Committee.
Important that funding is for educating young women in Pakistan is for the future generation. Critical importance here. And it's something I will proudly stand with you all today and every day. I've already gotten my marching orders. I know there's a letter coming to my office to sign on to. I know there's a resolution that will be before the Congress soon. But I just want to pause and say thank you for leaning in, for being a part of the solution, for engaging in the political process that isn't always welcoming. And so I greatly appreciate the invitation to be with you tonight.
Because I mean, we shared with them, जो पाकिस्तान में human rights violations हो रही हैं, they do understand, they shared with us जो USAID जो Trump ने इस वक्त जो है freeze की है, we talked about it. I mean, I shared my concerns कि aid बंद करने का मतलब है कि you are basically आप एक void create कर रहे हो, so कि जो दूसरी powers आएंगी उसको fill करने का वो दे रहे हो. So अगर United States वाकई serious है, I do understand कि उनको USAID accountability होनी चाहिए. I would definitely for accountability. लेकिन aid बंद नहीं होनी चाहिए.
लग रहा है कि पाकिस्तानी अमेरिकन कम्युनिटी एक पेज पर है और जो हुकूमत पाकिस्तान है, सफारत खाना है, एम्बेसी, वो एक पेज पर है. तो ऐसा पहले हमने नहीं देखा.
बिल्कुल.
तो उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताएं.
And I told them, I was talking to जो हम लोग इस वक्त अफगानिस्तान में, we are stirring pots. So I told them, be careful. We don't want that. I mean that. I told the congressmen and senators, like, we don't want that. It's Afghanistan war हमारी war नहीं है. It's not necessary. I mean वहाँ पर कुछ नहीं हो रहा है, and we don't want जो भी players हैं to come to you just अपनी relevance बताने के लिए. I'm just saying, like, as for Pakistani Americans, this is our concerns because you cannot do that. आप किसी not only Pakistani Americans, आप किसी पाकिस्तानी को भी नहीं कर सकते हो. I mean हर किसी का अपना opinion करने का right है. So लेकिन हमारे जो पाकिस्तान में इस वक्त हो रहा है कि आप थोड़ी सी भी आवाज़ निकालोगे and they would just go like lengths पे जाते हैं आपको threat करने के लिए, आपकी आवाज़ बंद करने के लिए, and this is not right.
तो ये था इवेंट पाक पैक का वाशिंगटन डीसी के अंदर, और जैसा आपने देखा रिपब्लिकन और डेमोक्रेट दोनों कांग्रेसमैन सेनेटर्स यहाँ पे मौजूद थे, और फोकस बेसिकली था कि अमेरिका का अगला कदम क्या होगा पाकिस्तान को लेकर, दुनिया को लेकर. आप क्या समझते हैं बताएं मुझे कमेंट सेक्शन के अंदर. डू लाइक, सब्सक्राइब एंड शेयर दिस कंटेंट. अपना ख्याल रखिएगा. अगली बार तक अल्लाह हाफिज़.